Greetings, I'm Frederick Riddle here with another episode of Becoming a Published Author is Fun. It really can be fun. And that's what I'm here today to do. This is episode 6, and our subject is struggling author. Now, in this particular episode, I'm talking about somebody who may not even have written your first book. You're just struggling trying to get started. The idea is there. You have this concept. You want to be a writer. But there's a lot of things you don't know. And so you have questions that even before you consider a course or hiring a coach or whatever kind of service out there is available to you, you have questions before you're even willing to face those. And so while there are some questions that require a coach or a teacher, there are some require a word or two. And that's what we're going to look at today, is a word or two. And so the first one I want to talk about, you probably heard about the wall. Now the wall, in a way, you're facing it right now. But usually it refers to when somebody has been writing a book. Maybe you've gotten into 3, 4, even 5 chapters or more, and all of a sudden you just can't go any further. It's a wall, just flat out wall, it's stopping you. I've been there. I've experienced that. Been years since I experienced it, but I experienced it. And I had no idea how to go through it, over it, or around it, or under it. It was a wall that completely stopped me. I would start writing a book. Usually it happened around the 4th or 5th chapter. And all of a sudden, it just couldn't go any further, no matter what I tried. That's the wall. And you will need to take, at least get yourself a coach to help you through something like that. But for now, for you to get started on it, don't focus on the details too much right now. Right now, you're trying to figure out, well, do I want to write? It's either yes or no. Don't go into. There is a little trick I use in my teaching that I will pass on to you right now, and that is write down different reasons why you think you might want to be a writer. Don't worry about which is most important. Don't worry about how silly it may sound. If it's something that's bothering you, it's important to you. And believe it or not, even though you might think it's silly, there's probably a half a dozen other people out there who share the same concerns you have. So ask yourself questions. So I'm going to put that down. Ask questions about yourself. And these do not have to be detailed. These do not have to have detailed answers. Simple yes or no will do. Ask yourself questions. And then, no matter what the answer is, if you still think at the end of those questions that you want to be a writer, then do. Start writing. Even though your writing may be atrocious and you think, oh, it's terrible, start writing. Why? Because once you get into that writing, you're going to have a natural, either you're going to completely collapse and you're going to say, nope, I don't want anything to do with it, or you're going to start discovering stuff about yourself and your writing skills that you will, later on when you take a course or something like that, you can develop and learn and expand upon. But you will get into the writing experience, and it will, if you're like me at all, and I'm nothing special here, I'm just an average person, and when I got into writing and started writing, I didn't know a thing about it at first. But when I started doing it, I enjoyed it, up until I ran into that wall. Well, the best way for you to answer the wall right now is simply keep trying. Take a rest. Go do something else, and then come back and try something. Maybe a different angle, maybe a different, and just write things down. Go to a restaurant, take a napkin, and write thoughts down as they pop into your mind. Don't consider them, don't weigh them, don't analyze them, just write them down. And you will be surprised. You're going to start writing more and more and more. And the next thing you know, that wall very likely is going to come down. This particular wall. This is not that big of a wall at this point in time. It's just simply more of a wall, less a wall, and more of questions, doubts, and things of this nature. And when you get into actually writing stuff down, you're going to discover whether you really have a desire or not to write. If you have a desire, you're going to start adding things. You're going to start having different ideas, imagination, stories that pop into your mind. Write them down as they appear. Don't worry about the details. That can come later. The next question here is motivation. Basically, that is why. Why do you want to write? So ask yourself. In the very first episode, I believe I addressed this, asking you to write down a variety of the 4 W's and how. Why, what, where, I think why, what, where, when, and how. And so that is something you can do. Just to get an idea of why you want to be a writer. And then getting started. This is probably one of the hardest, most common problems that new writers have. And it also has the easiest answer. And it's called do it. Simply do it. It goes right back up here to that wall of doing it. You want to do it. Start doing it. And again, you can start out with a real story that's in your mind. You just write down the concept of it, and just let your mind flow. And don't worry about the grammar. Don't worry about character development. Don't worry about all those things at this point. The thing is this: you want to start doing it, and then once you start doing it, then you're going to say, "Well, I know I'm making mistakes. I want this to be better." That's when you start looking for help. Now, if you really want help, you're going to be willing to pay for it, to hire somebody. Whether that person is a coach, a teacher, or whatever. The thing is this, I put coach first, but actually you're going to want the teacher first, in my opinion, because you want to know how to write. Now, actually, in my course, I do both. I teach you and coach you. It's a 2-tier system. So if you can get that, that is fine. Whatever you think you need, check them out. Most people will have some kind of information out there about the services they offer. I have posts. I have the vlog here. I have a blog. I also have different other things that I do. I also have a landing page. A lot of people who want have services to offer you will have a landing page. What is that? A landing page is nothing more than an information page. An information page. It's going to give you the information you need and the opportunity to take advantage of it. And so if they have one, go and check it out. It doesn't cost you a thing to read their landing page, to go on it, to look at if there's a video there, to watch it, to read the material that's there, and to check things out. What you want to do is learn who they are, what they are offering, and then you decide, well, is this what I'm looking for? And up until the point you actually purchase the service, you can stop at any point. But once you decide, this is the route I want to take, then you get into making the purchase. And even there, you have choices. We offer full price up front, or you can pay over time. The course that we have is a 12-month course. So you have 12 months or 12 payments you can make. So the thing is this, that you are not in this alone. You can have help. You can have somebody who's going to coach you, somebody who's going to teach you, and take you to that next step, and then the next step after that, the next step after that. And so this is something you want to do. And so here are the points again. I'm going to review them. The wall. Ask questions. Yes or no. Or maybe. And when you get done with that wall, asking those questions, and you come out and you still want to write, then start writing. Motivation. Why? Why do you want to write? What do you want to write? What genre, for instance? Where do you want to write? It could be home. You might want to go to the library. Whatever. There's no really wrong answer to any of these, actually. Where do you want to write? Who? That's one of the W's. Is who's going to do the writing? Well, obviously that's going to be you, but write it down. How? Okay, now when you get to the how, now you're getting to some serious questions, and you want to know, am I going to do it all by myself, or do I want help? And that's, so you have your motivation, you get started by doing it, and then if you want help, you can look for it. There are a number of people out there who are willing to help you. I personally know of 2 people, 3 actually, people who, other than myself, who are willing to help. Each person has their own expertise, their knowledge, their skill level, and so forth. And what you do is you check them out. You can't be on Facebook very long without running into them. A lot of them have some very snazzy looking advertising. Don't be taken in by the advertising, the pictures. I mean, that's there to attract your attention. Pay attention to what they are actually offering you and what they're saying. And so if they're promising you the moon and you haven't even written one book yet, you might want to question that a little bit. What is this? When they guarantee you that you're going to be a bestseller, is that really possible for them to guarantee something like that? Or is there a trick involved, like maybe a small niche that you do well in? You don't have to sell many books to be a bestseller in that niche. Well, you'll get the title bestseller, but that's about all you get out of something like that. But what is it they are actually promising you? For instance, what do I promise you? For T&R Independent Books as a publisher, I am the publisher. I am the owner of T&R Independent Books. And what do I guarantee you? I guarantee you that if you take my course, I will offer you a publishing contract. You're not under any obligation to take it, but I will offer you, upon completion of that course, I will offer you a publishing contract. You must complete the course, though. But the thing is this: I can back that up. I can do that. But these others who make promises out there, what are their credentials? When they say they're guaranteeing something, just what is it they're guaranteeing? And do they have any proof? So I can prove, simply because I publish myself. I am a publisher. And I can publish and will publish your book. If you complete the course, you're going to meet all my criteria. And so once you complete that course, then that's the next step, and I will offer you a publishing package. And then you look at it. If you don't like it, then you can go elsewhere. I've gotten you to the ready point. So now you're saying, okay, I'm going to go elsewhere. And that's your right. Or you might say, you've been the teacher, you've taught me all this stuff, I'm going to go with you. That's great. I will then work with you. We'll get that book published, and you will have a marketing leg up on other people because you will have your book on my bookstore, my online bookstore. You will be featured in my blog and probably in this vlog itself, and also in posts that I do, and I do quite a lot of posts. And so there's things that I can do to help you get started. Don't guarantee you're going to be a success. I'm not going to guarantee that. I won't lie to you like that. I'm not going to guarantee you that you will be a bestseller. That would be a lie. There are thousands of other people out there who are out wanting to be a bestseller. You're competing with all of them. And it's going to come down to having a good product, being published, and then getting that word out to people about your books. And so that is what you need to look at right now. So here we are. You don't have to be a struggling author for very long. Just follow the steps I've already mentioned to you, and you can get started now. And without spending any money whatsoever, you can start your career as a writer right now, wherever you are. And you just all you do is pick that pen up or your computer, start typing, and you can get started now. I'll see you in the next episode.